All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. That sort of implies that previous to that, we were something other than alive. Try not to think too much about that. Good evening. Rick Lupert here. Welcome to the 260th week of virtual Cobalt Poets. Glad to have you with us tonight. In addition to our open reading, our featured reader, who is being brought to us by VCP SoCal Poets, is Karen Greenbaum-Maya. Hello, Karen. Thank you so much for being here. We're all looking forward to hearing you read poems, and that's going to come up before you know it. Which means that I guess after you read will be you know it. Also, try not to think too much about that. If you would like to read in tonight's reading and you haven't already done so, send me a message in the chat and I'll be happy to add you to the list. As always, it's 2 poems maximum. Less is more is the suggested time limit, and that's all you got to do. Send me a message, and if I don't acknowledge you, send it again because sometimes I miss messages as I'm busy doing the things which need to be done to make sure that this all happens. We do have a 1 drink minimum here at the Cobalt. Make sure that you observe that in any way that you feel comfortable doing so. And finally, make sure you have the chat room open. It's available for you to interact with each other throughout the festivities and to post links of things you might mention or want people to click on as you take your turn at the mic. Send each other private messages. Whatever you'd like to do in there is probably fine. That's it. I think that's everything I need to tell you. Before we get on with our first reader, I would like to ask if there are any questions. Yes, Cathabella.
Rick, do you have a childhood song that still sings in your memory?
Yes. Yes, I do. Next question. Sorry, did you? When I was in Boy Scouts, I remember living in Syracuse, New York, and went to spend my summers at um, the Sabattis Boy Scout camp in the Adirondack Mountains, and I was tasked to lead people in song there in the as we were hiking along from one place to the next, and there was a repeat song about a bear, which you might know. The other day, I saw a bear. I saw out in the woods, out in the woods, oh way out there. The other day, I saw a bear out in the woods, oh way out there. That's the first song that came to my mind when you asked me about childhood songs.
That's
A lot of
great. It
verses.
wasn't a
It's a
moose. It wasn't a moose.
cautionary tale about encountering bears in the wilderness.
Excellent. Okay.
All right, thank you, Cathabella. Martin.
Good evening, Rick. Well, along the same theme, I was just wondering if there's any place from childhood you've ever gone back to and thought, wow, that's smaller than I remembered. That's bigger than, or bigger than I remembered, either one.
So I went to a place that I used to go to, and it was either bigger or smaller than I remembered.
Yes.
Most of the places I go are the exact same size that I remember them.
Cool. Glad to hear you
But
don't have
there
problems.
must be some place that seemed much bigger and grander than it really turned out to be. And I can't think of that place right now, but I'm gonna try to think of it, and if I come up with it, I'm going to interrupt whoever is reading and tell you what it is at that point.
Well, maybe you can do it during my poem when I'm talking about that. So,
Okay, well let's hope I've remembered by that time. A good question, Martin. Thank you. Ed, looks like you have a question. Your hand is up. What's going on, Ed?
Good afternoon, Rick. Thank you for being the host who love the most deserved toast. I have a question for you. What is your favorite song and why?
My favorite single song. That's tough because I think that's the kind of thing that changes all the time. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Ed, but I'm a music teacher and not teaching music, but teaching songs to kids. And so I'm constantly excited about different songs, especially new ones that I haven't done before, to bring those to the people that I sing with, to create moments of communal singing and things like that. So, I think that that answer would change week to week. How's that for two questions in a row that I have no ability to answer? Ed, thank you. All right. Any other questions? That was a good question answer period. I'm just going to type in the chat so I don't forget. Yes, Nancy, I have you on the list. There you go. We've got that taken care of. And we're going to get to our open reading now. On deck will be the collab. Second up, please welcome now our first reader, Carl Stillwell, with a little help from Jackie. Hello to both of you.
Carl, are you going to be able to share screen?
No, I can't. Can you do it?
Okay. Okay, because it keeps kicking me out of the meeting. So if I'm kicked out,
okay, okay. Don't want you to do that then. You just read it here. I'm looking for. Okay, I got. I got. That'll be fine. I'll just use the one I have.
Thank you.
Okay, I just got to make a little larger here. Okay. This is up. I got 2 points. On August the 6th, my son Luke died of rectal cancer in Hiroshima about 10 years ago, and this is a poem that he wrote. 2 months before he died, and he died in 2015. He died. He was 47 when he died. Field trip to hell. As a child of Hiroshima Prefecture, my wife was shipped out to the Peace Park every year along with her class, where they went through the museum there. In principle, it's a very good thing to do. Educate the children from an early age. Remind them what happened August 6, 1945. It's still a magic message of never again. But as I said, they start going at a very early age. And if you've ever been to the museum, you might wonder, what are they thinking? It's a non-stop tour of the horrors that began from that day, with plenty of gruesome photos and exhibits. My wife couldn't take it. She kept her eyes down the whole time. And every year after she found some kind of excuse to miss that trip, I don't know how I would have reacted to the museum at 6 or 7. I remember seeing some animation about the immediate aftermath with people's hands falling off and their eyeballs melting. That was pretty horrifying, but I must have been 10 or something by then. Clearly not 6, and that was just a fraction of what's in store for you at the museum. Everybody should go to the museum at the Peace Park, but certainly only when they're ready. As an extra that I remembered of what Kurosawa's older brother said to him on the banks of the Sumida River after the Great Kanto earthquake and all the bodies piled up in it. He said something like, Jackie,
Okay, I wasn't able to upload the document. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's
I'll read it then. You don't have it?
no, I don't have it.
Okay, that's okay. He said something like, "Don't look away, because if you do, it will haunt you all your life. Then look at it, and you won't be afraid." Well, that kind of became the motto for Kurosawa's art. I think about my wife, haunted by all she didn't see in the museum that day. And my second and last poem is my response to Luke's poem. It's called "A Haiku to My Hiroshima Daughter-in-Law." Maiden voyage to Santa Monica on Metro Expo line. Get on at Metro 7th Street. Standing room only. Compassionate commuter offers me his seat. Rail ride almost as bumpy as bus one to same city. Forever and ever, like rolling all over slow tide. Wonder if it's worth it. But after nearly 2 hours on rail from Pasadena, and I step out under blue skies with white, puffy clouds overhead, while inhaling salty ocean breezes. As I walk to Santa Monica Pier, there's no doubt it was. Walk over rugged pier planks to Coffee Bean, order coffee with blueberry muffin, and take to outdoor table. Read Luke's poem about how his wife Masami, when she was an elementary school girl, dreaded field trips to the museum in Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park because it was a non-stop tour of the horrors on August 6, 1945. I had never cried reading this poem previously, but on picture postcard day over Southern California shore, I cry for Masami's loss of innocence before unconscionable evil and suffering, the loss of my firstborn at 47 from rectal cancer, and the human sacrifice of over 140,000 to the hellfire god of nuclear war. Then, across wharf, from man of Asian Indian descent between white, blue, speckled sky and sandy earth comes to me sitar music. Pulling laptop and backpack, I begin to write. To sitar beat from Santa Monica Pier, waves dance to beach.
Carl, thank you so much for opening up the reading. What a terrible thing to for a parent to lose their child. I'm sorry that you went through that. I'm glad I'm glad you've got some poetry to help you and to help us understand what happened there. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. That was one of my favorite poem of yours.
Thank you, Jackie.
All right, round of applause for Carl with moral support from Jackie. On deck, Martin Parker. Please welcome now the collab, Cathabella, Wilson, Jackie, Chow, and Siggy. Hello to all of you.
Thank you, Rick. Before we start, it's interesting I named our collab a cautionary song from the first poem, but today, as I told Rick before we started, that I was surprised. I didn't remember the date. Carl mentions it and remembers well. But we met with Marco, and in Japan, it's already August 6th, and she very much had it on her mind. And this is a poem, she just wrote this poem, and it was influenced by the way people talk about it now. So it's very current. And this is Marco. Many say good, it ended the war. Countless souls still beg for water in the scorching heat. Many say good, it ended the war. Countless souls still beg for water in the scorching heat. So with that, we'll go on to a more playful scene. We all are in our own lives and remembering our own memories, but it amazes me how that was not so long ago that happened and how alive it is, especially in the Japanese memory. A cautionary song. N'oubliez pas votre houlette Lisette. A cautionary song I sang at our wedding, waving my driftwood wand. Houlette is a shepherdess's staff, a walking stick. And I stood at our wedding, Rick and I, with my creature of humor and strange beauty as my walking stick. Jackie.
No nightingale to teach me tunes. My father and I sang along to the songs of famous Teresa Tang.
Peter said, we sang on stage together, barely friends. Then fantasy sank in and glued us. Siggy.
$75, the cost of changing your name to Feather. Judge says, are you sure? Yes, and no middle or last.
They call me Miss Buttercup. I sang daintily. My fluffy yellow dress with a real crinoline.
Barbara, her childhood nickname was Boo. Too hard to say for her younger siblings.
Let me call you sweetheart. Sweetie for short. Even in the most formal situations, we blurt it out. Smile, Rickums. Smile, sweetie. Okay.
In the car, no radio reception, we sang Abba Dabba Honeymoon. 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. Da 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 da.
Songbirds corralling in harmony. For how long have I internalized all the tunes of discord?
Great. She always sings my name, never just says it. Liz, most loving of friends and madrigals. Peter says friends couldn't pronounce her first name, Nachama. So she became Nikki, short for nickname.
Dad banned Elvis, played in his Woolworth store, and only with requests. After he died, Mom became a fan, gifted me his Blue, a record.
They called her, making it sound like a song, Mary Lou. My mother at 90, dancing down the hall. Siggy.
Mom loved to dance, the twist, slimming, she said. Practiced in private. Coordination, not her middle name.
She calls me by the wrong name. I'll take Marilyn, who intrigued me more than Jackie ever did.
Katie, Dad used to sing. Beautiful Katie. Inviting me to do the dishes. Or dry them anyway. By the kitchen door.
Just shakuhachi Japanese flute in honor of the day. I chose one that I never play. It's dark. It's stained instead of bamboo color. That kind of works though.
Beautiful.
It
Thank you.
definitely works. Thank you all. Bell, if I didn't see your last lines in writing, I would have called for help. So
Yep.
you're not helping your case at this point. But it is fun to watch. Thank you all four of you for being here and sharing all that with us. Thank you for blurting it out as you did. A round of applause for the collab, Cathabella, Jackie, and Siggy with music from Rick. Well done, guys. All right, on deck, Denise Dumars. Please welcome now Martin Parker. Hello, Martin.
Hello again, Rick. Oh, thank you for the memories of childhood and the memories of Hiroshima. I remember reading a poem here a few weeks ago about my memories from Hiroshima. I should have saved it for today, maybe, but I got a couple other poems here about childhood memories. This first one is called Revisiting a Courtyard at Kinlan Apartments by the Delaware River. I thought this tree was bigger. We used to climb on this horizontal branch. I think we once sat four across and shared our thoughts on our little world. Her right hand had only a thumb and a tiny nail where the pinky should be. Someone had an arrow with red on its tip. He told us it was blood. What is this white stuff falling out of the sky? My dad yelled at me when I crashed again. We moved before I learned how to ride a bike. The window shattered to our surprise. Everyone else ran faster than us. She used her left hand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The man then made us track them down to the hill by the school where they tried to hide. But this branch doesn't come up to my knee. And then this next one is called Hoya carnosa, aka the porcelain flowered wax plant, or in Japanese, cherry blossom peony. We moved a lot when I was young, my father always searching for a place with a bigger yard than the one before. The trees he planted were slow to grow, never that tall when we moved on. But there in the corner of various rooms, a pot quite large with a slab of wood, cut from a tree still covered with bark, held soil that cradled the roots of a vine that climbed around that wooden plank. They said the vine was supposed to bloom, but not perhaps for a decade or two. When I was 20, my mother gave up on ever seeing this reluctant plant bring forth a blossom of any kind. Then a few years later, there suddenly appeared a number of buds that soon brought forth quite beautiful sets of dusty pink stars, exuding a powerfully exotic scent. My mother didn't like the smell at all, and out the plant had to go. So I went round to old houses I knew to view the forests my father grew. And that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother in musical band t-shirt, Martin. Thanks for being here. I'm sorry I didn't come up with a bigger or smaller than I remember it place, but I'm sure they're out there because I definitely recall having that experience and thinking, man, this place isn't as big as I remember it. And I don't think they'd cut some of it off, whatever it was.
Well, I love to take my partner around to places I used to be and think, okay, this house used to be a different color. It didn't have a garage, and this forest was not here when we lived there. More than one place like that I took her to. So, yeah, it was fun. And for the record, my favorite song of all time is Opening Out by Renaissance.
Is what?
Opening Out by Renaissance.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
Very
Like you say,
good.
my second favorite song of the day tends to be changed every day, but that one never changes.
Yeah, I could tell you right now, just sort of as an answer to that question, there was a major production of Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl this past weekend with Adam Lambert as Judas and Cynthia Erivo, most recently of Wicked, the film fame, as Jesus. So you can imagine queer, non-binary black woman Jesus already a thing, but it would, and I only got to see snippets of it from online. One of my favorite musicals of all time, and it was looked pretty darn good. And that's as a nice Jewish boy speaking. So I'm trying to figure out how many songs from Jesus Christ Superstar they're going to let me sing at High Holy Days this year. We'll see. So there you go. Martin, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right. A round of applause for Martin Parker. The Hollywood Bowl, still bigger than I'd imagine it was every time I go there. Two more people, then our featured reader, Karen Greenbaum-Maya. Heather Romero Kornblum, you're on deck. Please welcome now Denise Dumars. Hello, Denise.
Hi. For the record, Martin, my grandmother's house in Lodi, California, when I saw it as an adult, was much smaller than I remember. So that's something. This first one is called Morning Cloak. I saw a morning cloak butterfly in my backyard a couple days ago for the first time in about 1,000 years. Morning Cloak. How many years had it been since I'd seen one like you? Brown velvet caped butterfly. You settled within the dark green camellia leaves, floated up to the wisteria, to the peeling paint of the patio doorway, the edges of your wings pale-eyed and tatty. Like tea-dyed lace, seeing you, they say, means you're going through a rough patch. Or on the other hand, it's time to keep calm and carry on fighting. The puttees of the Great War match your ragged edge. And this is a new one too. Ken's not here. I'm going to call this my Ken Scott poem because I got inordinately angry at hearing that Trump wants to put a nuclear power plant on the moon. And that just upset me so much that I wrote what I call a Ken Scott poem. Nukes on the moon. It's not enough we turned a perfect garden into a charnel house. Now virgin dust must be despoiled. The laws of nothing made a really bad mistake in taking fur-sloughed primates out of the veldt. Whose great idea was it to irradiate the moon, make Luna carcinogenic when Gaia isn't even completely dead? Is it never enough, this peck and paw slaughtered, this Cormacian overkill, and the lingering smell of rotting flesh? This is why we can't have nice things, why the burning tundra interrupts my afternoon tea, but makes a brighter sunset. We used to have morals for a reason. Now even reason has been abandoned, with its ethics pulled down around its knees. We did indeed bury Paul and never paid Peter. Luna looking like a pumpkin in the ash-charred sky. Thank you.
Denise, thank you. It could have been any number of topics or performance styles. When you said you were going to do a Ken Scott poem, I was waiting for you to go on about, well, never mind. I'm not going to even. But you did good there. Thank you so much for being here. I stand against nukes on the moon as well. So let me know what needs to be done about that ridiculous idea. Round of applause for Denise Dumars. Thank you, Denise. One more than our featured reader, Karen. You are on deck. Please welcome now Heather Romero Kornblum. Hello, Heather.
Hi everyone. I'm so grateful to be here again. I'm going to read a couple poems from my new chapbook, which is out and available for purchase. It's called "I'm Not Over You," yeah, grateful to be here. I just want to clear before I read it. This is maybe a little PG-13, or is that okay? I'm not, or okay, okay. Just wanted to be respectful in that way, but make sure I was good with that. So I'm gonna read this poem, which is called "Horny Sad Girl." No I in girl, all one word. I got banned within minutes from a platonic cuddle platform for my username. I didn't realize it was a platonic platform. Horny sad girl with weird allergies wants cuddles. And maybe to show you how wet I am if it goes well. Horny sad girl is delirious with how much she misses you, the beloved husband, when she was beloved. Horny sad girl lost her mind when you visited her in the hospital, and she couldn't be a wife to you for months. I almost asked you to find a surrogate to have sex with. And think of me. I loved you almost enough. Horny sad girl couldn't give you up and was afraid to orgasm knowing you were leaving, both hungry and cautious, as she became a wife again, but not beloved again. So there's that one, and then I will read this one called Ghost, circa 3 months in the fall of 2023 during a bad patch. I tried to revive what I thought was the ghost of my marriage. It didn't work. I found myself talking in tongues, chanting, whispering over the carcass of what I thought was created by two people who took vows, until I realized I'd breathed life into it all by myself, all along. I took dust and fashioned a man. I made him feel love that was a figment of my imagination. Things that come from dust ultimately don't exist. In my deep want, I would have believed any talking shadow and any swirl of the wind. The thing about particles blown by the wind is that they contour, but they also scatter. I didn't realize there was no there until I found myself high-pitched, high-strung, eyes wide with disbelief, gesturing over a ghost, waiting for the wind to blow back the particles, the dust, the shape I remembered in a cycle of contour and scatter, form and settle. The thing about having a partner who lies for you is that when you start to crack, they crack too. I wished for the dust to remain scattered so I could see it for what it was. And yet we breathed life into the marriage again. We were our best selves, full of gratitude. I thought we were the miracle until may contain dairy did us part.
Heather, congrats on the new chapbook. Is there a way that people can get that if they want or check it out?
Yes, they can contact me. They could also probably contact Don as well from Four Feathers Press. But let me put my email here. And also, I am part of the group on Facebook, I believe. But yeah, they can do that. And also, I will be reading a featured reader with a chapbook at the La Manda Park Branch Library in Pasadena on the 16th of this month on Saturday at 3 p.m. With Four Feathers Press reading. So yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Rick, for being so supportive of this endeavor.
My pleasure, Karen.
Yeah.
Sorry, Heather. Thank you so much for being here. Good luck with it. Sounds like you got a lot going on with the book, so definitely read more from it as you come here. And we'd love to hear more. And thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Round of applause for Heather Romero Kornblum. On deck after our featured reader is Julian Matthews. So stand by, Julian, which leads us now to our featured reader this week, as we do a few times a year. VCP SoCal Poets, Valley Contemporary Poets, SoCal Poets presents a featured reader for us tonight, representing VCP SoCal Poets. James Everett Jones is here. James did double duty this week. We had another reader scheduled who had to cancel at the last minute for personal reasons. And so James really had to scramble to get us someone new for this week and fill the slot. And I really appreciate that you did that, James. So we could fill out our evening in a way that we hope to. So really appreciate the partnership and your presence. So to introduce our featured reader, please welcome James Everett Jones. Hi, James.
Hi, Rick. Can you hear me okay? Hang on a second. How's that? Okay, great. I owe Rick a huge favor. The trying to get one person, one poet, didn't know that it was going to be hard. It wasn't this hard in 1991. I got to tell you that. That's for certain. But I just want to say thank you to Rick and your efforts as well in getting everything on time. I love you, man. And also Karen was also so very polite and professional. I dig her. She is so wonderful. She has, I think I featured her a couple of years, I think perhaps before COVID hit. And to this
Bang in
day,
the middle.
what was that?
Bang in the middle.
Ah, yeah. So it was, I was impressed then. I am still as impressed now. And I'd like to welcome everyone to Karen Greenbaum-Maya.
Thank you, James. I'm blushing. Rick, by the way, I suggest for your High Holy Days song from Jesus Christ Superstar, I Don't Know How to Love Him. Okay. I'd like to start with a newish poem that just appeared in Off Course, How to Write Haiku. Follow the woman who said she'd save you into a dive. Guys in denim and leathers and chains, girls with black-rimmed eyes and silver-ringed hands sitting at their knees. Everyone looks you up and down. You try not to care. The one who brung you forgets all about you when the master walks in. He sits at the piano and plays and sings until everyone leaves. They have all gone to ride an elevator balancing on a column of air. They are screaming and laughing and looking like they find the whole thing transcendent, or at least entertaining. You're the only one left with the master. When he has played and sung, he gets ready to go on to his next gig. He takes one sweep of a look at you, says, "You need to write haiku." He poet-splains. Nature, seasons, the telling moment absent you. You try to speak, answer that you know this shit and it doesn't help. You are talking to his shoulder. He is on his way to the next gig. You go to the parking lot, hope to drive straight out. A moose is parked in front of you. A new mother moose with her foal, her mooselet. Now you hate to leave. I'm going to read, thank you, some poems from my collection, The Beautiful Leaves, about my late husband's illness and death and my grief. And I never quite know which ones I'm going to do, so tonight I'm going to do I Help My Husband Sleep. I smell your silver hair. Einstein wild from hospital sweat, waxy under my hand. Your head rolls onto my shoulder, crushes my hair so it rasps in my ear. Me under you, offering myself as a better bed, compressing the single-use egg crate mattress. I lie braced in this narrow bed that keeps me from cradling you enough. Stop fighting your eyelids pull. Burrow your heavy head into my breast. Take up your dreams, like a tired dog who feels the grass under his paws, twitching in his sleep at the flicker of abundant rabbits. What am I for but to let you let down? And there we go. And then, how empty his body became once he'd left it. His jaw hanging slack, then slacker, his face emptying, dissolving into mere parts, empty of him, no longer his face. Still his hands. I still expected him to pull away from my tugging fingers when I tied up a bundle of his silver hair with a length of thread, binding a sheaf before I cut it off. Okay. Pietà. Christ has aged on the cross. See his ribs, thin, flat, blunt as a chicken's. Already his body is heading for skeleton, knees thicker than his thighs, feet swollen from the overworked heart, giving out from all that giving out. The wasted muscles of your legs, slight and thin, more taken than given. Only your swollen feet showed how your heart could no longer raise you up. Mary cradles her son, having arranged her stone mantle on stone bench, and he molds to her, emptied out. As your heart failed at last, I gripped your hand, tried to tell you you weren't alone. When your neck was freed of resisting, your head rolled loose, freed of laboring against the weight of the earth. We cut away the bile-soaked shirt. We caressed you anyway with warm sponges before you grew stone cold. We worked you into your favorite shirt with the tiny blue flowers, the shirt you and I loved the best. We washed your vacant body, though I'd already cleansed you when your bile first rose at the food you could no longer use from our shared world. I realize those are fairly grim. This next one is not so grim. Beautiful leaves. It turned out pot-au-feu was plain boiled beef. You ate only the luscious marrow mashed on a chunk of baguette. The wine was house red, soft as moss. We'd ordered only a quarter liter, but the host timed his pours, at least 4. When you laughed, he passed the neck of the bottle, unseen under your evoking hand. I caught the host's eye. What are you doing? He shot me a smile. I am making him happy. Chairs rested upended on tables. We were last to leave. I helped you with your raincoat. You raised your face to the city stars, tipped back hard onto the window box, flattened the geraniums. I hoisted you past the music store on Rue Léopold Robert, past the neon reflections on the Boulevard Raspail. On the corner of Edgar Quinet, you sank onto the friendly bench under the street lamp's yellow sphere, filtered by new chestnut leaves. Look at the leaves, the beautiful leaves. I've never seen such beautiful leaves. So I sat down beside you, I looked at those illuminated leaves outlined in absinthe and lamplight. I was tired, wanted back to our flat. I didn't know what you knew. The host had poured happiness. The leaves were mystic love. Time was up for the last time. You'd never see new leaves again. You, exalted, clear-minded, unswerving, you knew the night should never end. Sorry, I'm a little bit lost in my notes here, so let's go to, okay. I'm going to read a few from my latest collection that came out just last month, Eve the Inventor. And both of these two, by the way, are from Bamboo Dart Press. Or if you're interested, catch me in the chat and we'll work that out. So, Eve the Inventor. When Eve bites into the apple, she invents time. She crunches her bite, tastes the juice released from the crushed chambers. She swallows. Now it is gone. Now there is a now, becoming then. Now the bite of apple starts to enter the past. The next bite is a little less crisp. Grasses bend in the new little wind and the sun starts to drift to the horizon. Eve discovers her apple's green woody stem that doesn't even know its useful life is over. Birds sing for the first time when their song begins and ends. The serpent is astonished to feel the desire to shed his skin. And Eve has not yet discovered that no good deed goes unpunished. No, wait, that's not it. Here we are. Okay. Man of my dreams. Can you believe George Clooney and his new book of poetry? Not only did he get paid $1 billion for his tequila company, not only is he a compelling actor, not only is he the man I don't know whom I most need to see naked, but he can write. Introspective, fresh imagery, intriguing language, and so vulnerable. Who knew he was an introvert? I want to go buy his book. Judith Jersey is ready before I am. I can't find my pants. When I do, they are covered in cat hair. Judith has her pants. She has also published another full-length collection, and George recognizes her. Judith Jersey, you came to my signing? I'm so honored. Let's swap books. I give up on my pants. I rummage through a hedge of brown paper wrappers for a copy of George's book. Have they all sold? I saw hundreds only a few minutes ago. No, there is one last copy of I'm Just Like You, Only Cooler. George gives me a tender smile. We're more alike than you might think, he murmurs. My eyes spring wide. My words slam shut. I can only sputter and stammer. Shut up, Judith hisses. Take the damned compliment. Okay. This is a much older one, but I am fond of it. Eggs Satori. Take an egg for each eater, another for the pan. The eggshells should be opaque, too bright to look at if white, freckled matte if brown. Crack the eggs into a generous bowl. Use your entire arm, wrist, forearm, shoulder. Achieve a decisive snap that strikes the shell cleanly at the bowl's edge. Empty each eggshell of its little world. Heat the frying pan only just enough to melt a lump of butter the size of a nut, any nut. Float the pan off the stove. While the pan cools, whisk the eggs as mildly as winds ruffle grass. No bubbles, no froth. Pockets of egg white will bob to the surface. Accept this. Add salt. When you can pat the underside of the pan as you would pat a friend's shoulder, return the pan to a gentle heat. Quietly, pour in the beaten eggs. Now leave them. Chop some parsley or a small tomato. Bring this to your eggs. Let them all get acquainted in their own time. Drag a fork languidly through the eggs where a small buffer is starting to thicken. Let your lungs fill and subside without effort. Release the breath. Gently tour the rest of the pan. Drag the fork around the edge again. Now the eggs will start to yield large curds. Observe this without urgency. Low heat, no bubbles. Bring drifts of egg to the center slowly enough to feel their mute resistance to the pull of the fork. So slight the weight. If curds break into grains, you are working too hard. You have been dragged off center. Stop. Get over yourself. Let the eggs cook alone for a moment. Honor how little they require from you. Gather the eggs together at the center of the pan. Coax them to turn over. Turn off the flame. Gaze around the kitchen a moment. Take the pan from the burner. Divide the billowy mass into portions and serve. Eat your egg in small, voluptuous bites. Do not speak. Then I would like to close with a poem that tells you a little about me. About the author. Like Proust, I'm not inventive. Like Henry James, I'm fat. Like Melville, slow to publish. Like Eliot, I've a cat. Like Stevens, I do other work. Like Gerald, write in prose. Like Thurber, I don't see too good. Like Shakespeare, I wear clothes. Like Kafka, I remember dreams. Like Shaw, pontificate. Love Paris just like Baudelaire. Like Henry Roth, I'm late. Like Freud, I must have enemies. Like Gilbert, I'm not glad. Like Wilde, I'm snide but tactless. Like Sylvia Plath, I'm mad. Like Joyce, exploit illusions. Like Tolstoy, I'm no fun. Like William Blake, can't catch a break. Like Reverend John, I'm done.
Karen, that's a great line to end a poetry reading on, I have to say. Well done. Before I get into all the stuff, James, do you have anything that you want to say for VCP SoCal Poets?
Um, yeah, we're probably going to have a new, we're going to be at the Rap Saloon for Fifth Fridays and some other stuff. We're kind of like in the midst of rebuilding right now.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for that and for bringing us Karen tonight. Karen, that was a great reading. I loved that you began with a poem that referenced a moose. That means a lot to me at this stage in my career. The line "mooselet" will stick with me. The word "mooselet." After you probably didn't see this in the chat, but after apologizing for or mentioning that you'd read a bunch of Grimm poems. Bill Gaines mentioned in the chat, Grimm is hot, and that got a lot of agreement. So well done there. I was particularly also fond of the lines, I gave up on my pants. And like Shakespeare, I wear clothes, which of course is
Like
what everyone
Shakespeare, I
thinks
wear
of when
yes.
you think of Shakespeare. Oh yes, he was a clothes wearer, that guy. So thank you very much for that reading. I'm gonna paste some stuff in the chat and share the screen to show folks the broadside I made for the poem that you sent us. For the broadside, there it is. People can download this now
Nice.
at the Cobalt Poets website, poetrysuperhighway.com/Cobalt. It's an 11 by 17 print that you can just look at on your screen. You can print it out. You can enjoy it forever. You're part of the Broadsides archive now, Karen. So congrats on that. Really great reading. You can tip Karen for her reading if you'd like. There's a PayPal and Venmo ID pasted into the chat. She also suggests picking up one of her books is a great way to tip a poet, and I concur. So please contact Karen if you want to purchase one directly. She's willing to send out signed copies if you buy them from her directly. In addition, I did post a couple links to where to pick up Eve the Inventor online if you prefer at Amazon or bookshop.org. So Karen, thank you again. Really great reading. Really enjoyed your work.
Thank you kindly, Rick. And James, thank you for thinking of me.
And may I interject with one little ditty?
Sure.
Oh, fantastic. If you choose to get a broadside, go by your nearest FedEx office. Get that. You can get the give them a little thumb drive with the with the work on it, and if you have ask for an 80-pound paper at FedEx. If you do, you'll have a beautiful, sturdy, lasting piece of art. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Good recommendation, James. Yeah, of course, we used to, as you may recall, as I'm sure you recall, print the broadside. So I'd make 25 copies at the reading. We'd sell them for $1 a piece, a minimum dollar a piece donation. All the money went to the featured poet, and they got to take home any of the leftover broadsides. Wow, those words, I said them like hundreds of times on the Cobalt stage. Thanks for the opportunity to remember that. But yeah, you can download the PDF and send it over to FedEx office. You can print it online. You don't even need to bring a thumb drive. You could just send it to them on their website if you want.
Right.
Cool. Thank you, James.
Okay. Thank you, Rick.
And looking forward, you guys will be back in October with another featured poet, according to the information I have. So looking forward to finding out how that is. And I appreciate again the tough week we had, like with the last minute cancellation. So it all came together. We're here. Thank you.
Thank you. And with any luck, we may get our original intended poet, because she is absolutely awesome.
Cool. Well, I hope so. All right. Thank you, VCP SoCal Poets. Thank you, James. Thank you, Karen. I will quickly mention before we get on to the rest of tonight's open reading that next week our featured reader will be Shaki G, a poet I know from here. She has come to our reading at least once and made enough of an impression on me to want to invite them to be here. So Shaki G will be our featured poet next week's slam poet, performance poet, powerful performer. So on to the rest of tonight's reading. This is who I have on the list in this order: Julian Matthews, Jeffrey Bryant, Nathan Horowitz, Sean Mahoney, Ed Potastic, Bill Gaines, Nancy Murphy, Randy Israelo, Heidi Casa, Richard Loringer, and me. If anyone would like to be added to the list, please send me a message in the chat. I'll be happy to add you. If you did and I missed it, my apologies. As a reminder, 2 poems maximum. Less is more is the time limit. Jeffrey Bryant, you are on deck. Please welcome now Julian Matthews. Hello, Julian.
Hi. Oh, Share screen.
Don't share screen.
Yeah, thank you. This is called 1,000 Anythings. Just the one poem. 1,000 Anythings. Oh, poet, what shall I make of 1,000 butterflies if I can't feel a single flutter in my heart? Of what use is 1,000 floral bouquets if they can't halt this withering inside? What does it matter if there are 1,000 lit stars if there is no sparkle in our eyes? Or 1,000 lines with predictable rhymes without one that truly surprises? Oh, poet, you don't need 1,000 mirrors, only one to reflect what's really inside you. Wash away all these metaphors into the swollen ocean, the sobering sky, fling them into the forgiving wind, that abyss of the cliche-ridden. Give in to silence. Be still. Meditate. You don't need 1,000 of anything to exaggerate your yearnings. Not 1,000 moon kisses, eyes, tears, or any such anatomical longings. You're allocated 23,000 breaths a day. Hold a few between them and write one line to electrify 2 neurons into synaptic synthesis. Fire up a kiln of incandescent thoughts, well the emerging core memory into a dendrite spine, glass blow it into one glowing, propulsive, sensory incantations. Entangle the light of that reminiscence into an emotional feedback loop. Then just let go, lose control. Let its aesthetic trigger the atrial connections in our collective souls. Oh, poet, you don't need 1,000 anythings to make a poem yours and mine. Dig deep, pare down, levitate us with just one vivid verse, not 1,000 terse songs to make us feel we belong. Thank you. That's it.
Julian, thank you so much. Nice piece, nice message of people belonging. I appreciate you being here. Round of applause for Julian Matthews. On deck, Nathan Horowitz. Please welcome now Jeffrey Bryant. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hi. Thank you. Congratulations on your book, Rick. I am going to read a short poem from my book, The Catacombs of Vanished Lovers, which has a little blurb from our Heidi Casa on the back. And it's a short one, and it was the poem that was the broadside, when I did my feature about 2 years ago today, not today, maybe just 2 years ago. It's called I Am Everything I've Ever Thrown Away. The laughter at the bottom of a bottle of wine. A dried up toner cartridge tired of reading my poems. Batteries dead from running in the wheel. Holes where clothes used to be. An old cigarette box full of stale kisses. What's left of a meteor propping up my chair leg. A calendar of holidays I didn't observe. 4 unused tickets to my final surgery. This and all that I surrendered after sentencing. I am everything I have ever thrown away, but I can be recycled and then sprinkled on your garden. This next one is new. I don't think I've read it here, but we'll read it. Blessed are we, the blasphemers, the church gigglers, inhaling the incense of longing over votive-lit, moistened eyes. I sit with my hymnal yearning for your lips of juniper and lemon, for the sun to quicksand into water so we can taste each other nocturnally again. the wisdom of our ages conjured in stolen half pints and a condom machine. Blessed are the spellcasters who stirred us into flesh. Blessed are the verses glistening down our cheeks. I taste Rimbaud below your mascaraed lash. I kiss you famished and lawless. I lie with you, wrapped tightly in our bodies of Christ, two soft wafers dissolving on God's tongue. Thank you.
I think you just wrote the sequel to Jesus Christ Superstar there, Jeffrey. Well done.
I think
Uh,
she's the Jesus I've been waiting for. I don't know.
well, good. Your time has come. Her time has come.
Thank you,
Uh,
Cynthia.
I'm a fan of church giggling as well, by the way. So thank you for that line in your piece. And I posted a
Thanks.
link to the broadside for that first piece in the chat in case people want to revisit it. Thanks for being here, Jeffrey. Round of applause for Jeffrey Bryant. On deck, Sean Mahoney. Please welcome Nathan Horowitz. Hello, Nathan. Nathan, we're not hearing you. Are you there?
Boom. How about that?
There you go. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. I just want to recapitulate. Blah 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 blah. Yes. Um. But picking up on the erotica vibe from Jeffrey's last poem, a book of tasteful yet obscene erotica by a male writer. He gives you more bang for your book. It's like Anais Nin's work, but more deep. Open it up and take a look, but don't leave it near your head if you want to sleep. Every year, it features more fuckers as folks leave their lives and enter its pages. Every year brings more of these suckers banging on bunk beds and banging on stages. They bang on the beaches, they bang in the stalls, they bang in the river when the rain falls. They bang eating popsicles, making bird calls. They bang on the floor and they bang on the walls. They bang in the sheets and they bang on the roads. They bang at the hubs and they bang at the nodes. They bang on the sand, fall asleep when they can, and snore in the wind in oracular codes. The second poem here is named after an ad from my Facebook feed. Just the title of the line of the ad serves as the title of the poem. It's called "Custom Permanent Teeth Are Just 24 Hours Away." Custom permanent teeth are just 24 hours away. Custom permanent teeth are approaching by air and rail, like soldiers, avengers, sailors drunk on destiny. The wind whistles past them, sighing, mentioning horses, chariots, the foamy sea. The teeth chatter, remembering who they've been and who they have to be. As they soar through time and space like comets, asteroids, teen pirates, quartz pebbles, white Ford explorers, dragon seeds, they experience plethora of myriads, thoughts, memories, dreams, reflections, shudders, shivers, trembles, judders, lurches large and small, cornucopiac desires, jostling crowds of fears. Custom permanent teeth are just 23 hours a day. We prepare to welcome them. I do the dishes, as always, with a mixture of hope and hopelessness. The counter is still damaged from before we bought the home. We don't consistently soak dishes, so food residues harden. I remember my training at a vegetarian restaurant when I was 17. I take pride in work with water and soap. I find a fresh scrubby under the sink where my wife left it and load the dishwasher and scrub the pots and even clean the stovetop. I transform my thoughts into incense smoke to welcome custom permanent teeth, which are just 22 hours away. I dry my hands, and in the backyard, I put up the radio tower. It's 60 meters tall and goes by Eleanor. It broadcasts greetings to the teeth from soil, from roly-poly bugs, poison ivy, cicada larvae sucking the roots of saplings from saplings my wife planted, peach, pear, apple, cherry, from fungal networks. The old field mouse who lives alone up under the roof of our house, stealing our Wi Fi, sparks up his podcast and retells in his creaky voice the legend and prophecy. Custom permanent teeth, he intones, are just 21 hours away. Custom permanent teeth are just 20 hours away. I can feel them in my marrow, a restless, distant, gnashing, champing, snapping, chomping. It falls silent during periods when I can hear the silence decreasing. This hour, they're the fastest they'll be until the 6th hour. Boots on the floor crackle with energy. Dirty socks writhe and crawl like snakes. In the ocean, horseshoe crabs stare up through turbulent water with their eyes that can detect UV light at custom permanent teeth, which are just 19 hours away. I was going to write more, but there's a lot of hours to go, but that's for another year.
Yeah, God, I hope there's a sequel because you really left us hanging. Like, are they going to show up? I mean, this is like waiting for Godot all over again. Nathan, this is, but my God, if there ever was a poem about that, that would be the ultimate poem about that, that was it. Well done. That was a lot of fun. Um, uh, you've created a whole infrastructure for those teeth that are on their way. And not soon enough, I should say. Um, and I will echo what Julian said in the chat about your first poem. A whole lot of banging going on. So let's keep that going. A lot of fun tonight, Nathan. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks.
Round of applause for Nathan Horowitz on deck. Ed Potastic, please welcome now Sean Mahoney. Hello, Sean.
He is dangerous. Sorry, couldn't help it. I have two short ones for you tonight. State of. I read a blog post concerning what is already here, what is coming, a dismantling of the Department of Education, inevitably the inevitable systemic crushing of the Americans with Disability Act. I know who this writer is. I know his work, some of his stories of being alone in this world. He warns that maybe the ugly laws will be returned to us unsung, us unabled, whatever that means. He speaks of Aristophanes, who cautioned times such as these attacks on democracy, our democracy. And what if we, us disabled folk, were interned in former drive-in movie lots and failed casinos, interred on a later date after disappearing while walking, or a supposed walk, a three-legged walk, a walk of no particular consequence, except for not returning. Turns out I got captivated by the state, then bleached and shorn by the state, uglied up. And peace. That was for you too, Rick, because I know you were having difficulty with it last week. So I have one more short one somewhere if I can find it. This, The Turmoil of Your Broken Tongue, Part 2. Erase me, strip me down to the studs, pull my nails, plane me, measure my hands twice and cut me quick. Marvel at my drip, make me smooth enough for body sharing. I throat you in fall, swallow you again in spring. We share dust, we drug on each other, convulse.
Ooh, Sean, I think you froze. Did anyone else see Sean freeze at the end there? Yeah. Can you give us like the last half of that poem again?
The last half.
Or
It's
hell,
so
just read
short.
the whole thing again.
Yeah. The Turmoil of Your Broken Tongue, Part 2. Erase me, strip me down to the studs, pull my nails, plane me, Measure my hands twice and cut me quick. Marvel at my drip. Make me smooth enough for body sharing. I throat you and fall, swallow you again in spring. We share dust. We drug on each other, convulse, and we grit, ready for rousing finish. End piece.
I want to now say that I actually heard the whole piece. I just wanted to hear you sing that a third time. I don't know. No, actually, that's not true.
That's copyrighted.
Well,
You heard it here. It's copyrighted.
it's sure. I'm not going to steal it. I just want to enjoy it. Thank you, Sean. Thank you for the live performance of a line from Jesus Christ Superstar as well. I appreciate that.
Nobody ever does that scene when they do sing-alongs. I mean, the Pharisees have some great parts.
I very rarely see any songs from that musical as just at a sing along at the bar, but you know what I'm saying? But I'd be into it. That's
Someday,
for
Rick.
sure.
Someday.
All right, Sean, thank you so much for being here. Round of
Yes,
applause
thank
for
you.
Sean Mahoney. I hope you survived the creature behind you. It looks like it's going to get you pretty soon, so be careful. On deck, Bill Gaines. Please welcome Ed Potastic. Hello, Ed.
Hello, Rick, our wonderful host that deserve the most, that never a boast, that deserve a toast. And great job, Nathan. That was really good. All right. My name is Ed Potasco. I'm feeling fantastic. Please take time to join my rhyme. Five for sublime. I got two pieces, so I take too much time. The first piece is called Lyrical Butterflies. Oh, music, what can I say about you? Make me happier than a fish swimming in the deep blue. All music harmony to our ears. It extinguishes our darkest fears and leave us in happy tears. Music can send fire to our hearts or a big warm hug. It can kill the inner traumas or the toxic bugs. Music gives us a safe space. It gives us a vibrant room to elevate, concentrate, and meditate with extra grace. Music gives us a nostalgia in a more surreal time. It reminds us we are aligned in our physical and mental prime. Music can raise oceans, destroy mountains, and set off volcanoes. It's hard to believe just from listening to a few notes. Music can make you move and groove a billion times. It's deep in our roots, kind of like these rhymes. Music gives us a moment to express ourselves in this ugly yet beautiful world. It can inspire and teach any little boy or girl. Music is art in its own unique and luminous form to break out of our boring dorms. It could be a radiant sun or a chaotic storm, but listen in order to transform. Music is the air we breathe and the food we eat. It's the senses that freeze our bodies and burn our feet. Music is a performance that's happening inside our minds. Actually, it's like poetry. You can feel the energy go up our spines. Music is, wait, don't just take my word for it, but put on your headphones or earbuds and immerse yourself in the musical blue. Let the notes go through and around you in order to get lost inside your whimsical cocoon. Thank you. And the next one is called No Adulting. Not trying to go to space, not trying to decorate your face, not trying to be a dinosaur, not trying to stomp and roar, not trying to act strange, not trying to be labeled strange or deranged, not trying to daydream, not trying to think of being steam. It's a crime, I'm not going to lie. No imagination, I want to cry. We need to break the glass ceiling. We need to think outside the box. We need to use more feelings with reelings. We need to start playing with rocks. That's what I'm trying to say. We need more imaginative curiosity. Life isn't covered in white and gray. It's not one gigantic spewing travesty. Get lost in colors or in the stars. Grasp the powers of imagination. Let's go here, there, and far. Think of it as a stress-free vacation. What will everybody think of me? Are you that obsessed with fitting in? Please take the advice from my poetry, which is to be like the blue sea, my friend. What does that mean, you might ask? You're thinking too much, for my hunch. It's not a wild, complex, mundane task. Don't think a bunch, but use an imaginative touch. Thank you so much.
Ed, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. I feel the same way about music as you did in that first poem. So well done, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for Ed Potastic. On deck, Nancy Murphy. Please welcome now Bill Gaines. Hi, Bill.
Hello. Hi, thank you for having me back. I am going to read. I'm going to read two tonight. One of them is longer than I usually read, but it's still, I think, at the end of the day, pretty short. But I might be wrong about that. That'll be the second one. The first one, I want to keep the Grimm thing going, maybe bring it back, because Grimm is in. Thank you, Richard. This one is called Coupon Book for the Damned. 7 severed heads on a tall steel spike in a coupon book for the damned. They stare like baristas awaiting my order. And just like always, I don't know what to say because I don't know what I want, because I don't know how to love. And just like baristas, the coupon book is full of advice. But a final decision is all on me, and all before me are monsters and horrors, sharp teeth and drool, blood, guts, neon lights and mean girls, fire, darkness, and here comes the end of the window, and why don't I just die, goddammit? End of piece. And my other one is called, it's called The Dream Machine. We're a mess, a big mess, ill-conceived, dreamt up out of thin air, big ideas in a small bar. We are the smoky thoughts of cloudy-minded deities who are themselves the pointless product of a machine that built itself. Not the loom of sempiternity, which weaves threads of light into carpets for the gods to sleep on, while mortals struggle to brew more coffee, for the last of us awake shall become our leader. Not the pulley of every dimension, which hauls our perceptions from level to level to level to level to level. Not the clock of universal splendor, which builds nothing and measures nothing, but it has 2 hands, and isn't it pretty? Yep, it's a machine with no beginning, a machine of infinite complexity that builds things that don't exist, that in turn dream up things that do exist, and in between us and the machine is a whole lot of nothing. So the machine may as well not exist either, for our limits are pure, but our knowledge is not, and we are bound by what we are able to figure out and discover, or else what we are able to imagine, to dream up out of thin air. Big ideas in a small ball. And that's it for me tonight.
A reasonably length poem on this episode of Grimm's Fairy Poems, Grimm Fairy Poems. I should have rehearsed that. Bill, thank you so much. Great work tonight. Great to have you here.
It's good to be back.
All right. Yeah, welcome back. Missed you last week. Well, another round of applause for Bill Gaines. Thank you, Bill. On deck, Randy Israelo. Please welcome Nancy Murphy. Hello, Nancy.
Good evening. I wanted to read this poem for the last month and I missed it. So I'm going to stretch. The summer goes by too fast anyway, but I'm going to dip back a few days and read a very old poem, one of my first published poems in the South Carolina Review. And it's called Making July. The way my mouth must move to make the word July, the ooh curl of lips and push of air, followed by the open mouth roll of tongue, ends in an expression that could be mistaken for the way I look when your hands calm the outside of my skin. This all started in June, and now the low fruit ripens, falls onto ground carpeted with faded jacarandas. Alone in my bed, I feel peaches open. I hear plums softly thud on the path between our houses. Mosquitoes sing low in my ear like a persistent lover, like a warmth from my depths that won't let me sleep. Tonight I will rise, open screen doors without regard, find you on my porch with no further elaboration. Thank you.
Nancy, thank you. Just one poem tonight? Yeah. Right. The way you read, I hear plums thud. There was a big pause between plums and thud. And I just immediately, oh my God, well, what are they saying? What sounds are the plums making? What's going on with the plums? Until you revealed the rest, and I realized they're just plummeting to their death. But enjoyed that. Great poem. Glad you got to read it here. Thank you for being here. Round of applause for Nancy Murphy. Thank you, Nancy. On deck is Heidi Casa. Please welcome now Randy Israelo. Hello, Randy.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I just have one piece. This is called First Come the Round Hard Buttons. Hey, mister. I like those buttons on the bottoms of your shoes. Those buttons just there on the bottoms of your shoes. Those buttons just there in the soles of your shoes. Yeah. I like how it feels when you walk that way with those buttons just there on the bottoms of your shoes, mister. Those buttons just there on the bottoms of your shoes, tapping at that sidewalk, at that carpet, at that rat-a-tat earth. Yeah. And I like how you decided on the size of those buttons just there on the bottoms of your shoes, mister. How they were equal to the size of your childhood pains, all rounded and hardened over time, and yet still here now too, mister, yet always extinguishable though, right? Yeah, always so breakable though, right? Once you realized that you could break them. And you did realize that finally, that you could break them, those childhood pains, one day. Didn't you, mister? Yeah, didn't you? And were you surprised then, mister, as you just destroyed those round hard buttons on the bottoms of your shoes, that more round hard buttons just took their place just there on the bottoms of your shoes, just there in the skin of the soles of your shoes? And were you surprised then too, mister, that those new buttons, well, they just slid so easily into individual loops of purpose there too. Yeah, slid so easily right there into those individual loops of purpose there, just there on the bottoms of your shoes, reattaching your childhood pain once more, mister, to the skin of the soles of your shoes. As you just kept on keeping on every day despite, yeah, as you just kept on rat-a-tap-tapping your way despite every day, mister, along that unlistening sidewalk, along that bulging carpet, along that fault line beneath you in the earth. Yeah, you just kept on keeping on every day despite, didn't you, mister? Until one day, you just stopped suddenly. Yeah, isn't that what you did today? You just stopped suddenly, all that racket, all that razzmatazz as you started listening to me more directly now instead. Yeah, listening to me, your childhood pain more directly now instead. Yeah, listening to me, your childhood pain, signaling to you more directly now instead. And at last, that I have moved now, mister. Yeah, I have moved to a different locale. Ever since you started trying to eradicate my round, hard buttons from their place on the bottoms of the soles of your shoes. Yeah, I have moved now, mister, into the ocean now. Yeah, into the smooth, smooth glass of it all. Yeah, I have moved into the liquid persuasion of it all now. And oh, yeah, I'm still shouting at you too, Mr. A-rat-a-tat-tat, you fucker, that you do not and will not, ah-cha-cha, fucker, ever belong in a healthy, vibrant world. So time to give up now, mister. Yeah, time to just give up on that sneeze of hoping now that you're finally standing here at this fun house on this beach. Yeah, it's time to just give up on just keeping on and just tap those New hard buttons on the bottoms of your shoes, all the way down across this sand now to me instead, the ocean. Yeah, it's time for me now, mister. No more sidewalks, no more shaggy carpets, no more beckoning earth beneath, no more concrete living. Only just me and this hum of sand on this beach now, mister. Yeah, there's only just me and this hum of sand on this beach now, stretching out toward just me now. The ocean, your ocean, so liquid, just waiting for you here until you just can't hear anymore that sound of pain, that child in pain, standing before that funhouse mirror now, by the exit in those shoes, ha cha cha, yeah. I am your ocean now, mister, with all my slide and my whoosh, yeah, with my super slide and my super whoosh, ready for you now, wave by wave. So stride on across those numbing sands and release yourself into me now until all my slide and all my whoosh cover that fake thorny crown so tiny on your head now, mister. Yeah, oh so sweetly and oh so compromisingly now. Yeah, release yourself into me now, mister. I promise you, you'll hear nothing this time. Thank you.
Randy, I'm trying on the new hat filter, by the way, just so you know. You had us mesmerized. What a great reading of that piece. You got me thinking during some parts how Heather, I think earlier, asked us if it would be okay to read something that was mildly PG-13. Clearly, Heather hasn't spent much time at Cobalt before. I don't think the hat filter works that well.
I like it.
We'll try it out for another couple poets. Anyway, Randy, well done. Super job. Really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
All right, round of applause for Randy Israelo. You can see my cat there in case anyone is interested. That's the effect of the hat filter as well. Okay, moving on. We have two more poets. And then me to close out the open reading. If anyone else is here who would like to be added, now's your last chance to do that. Richard Loringer, you're on deck. Please welcome now Heidi Casa. Hello, Heidi.
Hi, Rick. Hi, everybody. Just noting hat cat filter in the chat, or the hat and the cat. Love those. I have two tonight. Snapshot not taken. Green tumbles from the sky in clumps, the eye panning from pedestrians below to the building's bright top, where a man clips nature above heads, too big to hold, the skyscraper, its resonance, alive, dying, the coldness of faces, spurning the moment. The scales cannot measure, branches against the cement's resolute grin. Under an encased Monday, few people examine. Taco Run. My favorite taqueria happens to be open this morning. Colors blazing around the confused newcomers, walking in like this is a different country, asking many questions, frowning around. I think, where's the space for my wonder? This place has held strong in a windy, winded world. I can't stop smiling at the indifferent employees who unknowingly held my daughter's fetus in their careful hands. Invisible family tending to the body's basic needs. I turn, and among the zombies, a woman with dreadlocks dances, her raised arms and tapping legs, sucking in the Spanish music and releasing its life, spreading joy like a child, taking off through a grassy field, winning the game of the moment. Thank you.
Heidi, thank you. I feel like I should have extra poetry awards around just to give to you every time you blow us away with your work, which is like every time. you're here. One quick question though. Taco run. You live in Austin. Isn't like every time you go outside a taco run in Austin?
Well, I was traveling recently in California and so it was like it was my favorite taqueria that usually isn't open in the mornings and I just happened to hit it right at the moment that I was traveling. So I was so happy about it.
Okay, well, you come from a serious taco culture, so I when you say talk about your favorite taqueria, we pay attention, is what I'm saying. Thank you for being here, Heidi. A round of applause for Heidi Casa.
Thank you.
On deck is me to close out the open reading. Please welcome now Richard Loringer. Hello, Richard.
Hi. Yeah, Heidi, I just want to say it's true. It is the taco things in life. Okay. Everyone here is now glad that they don't live with me. I just hi. I just wanted to say, I know I've said this before, that I really value this reading series, and I know I'm here most weeks. It's just really it's been really important to me, and I'm saying this because with somewhat a heavy heart, I have to tell you that I'm not going to be here for a while, I think, because I'm joining the circus and it rehearses on Tuesday evenings. And I actually mean that. But what I'm actually joining, I just put it in the chat, is a performance group called the Wandering Ensemble, and they kind of do performances that are related to each other throughout the year with a culmination in the spring. And it's called the Wandering Ensemble because they've done it for 5 years straight, and the guy who started it plans to do it for guess how many years? 40. He plans to do performances for 40 years. He's in his 50s. But it's kind of an amazing group. And I need to do some movement and just work with a group, and they do movement, dance, song, all kinds of other shit, spoken stuff. And I just need something. I need something. And so I know I'm only going to do one piece, but so I know you're going to miss all my political, propaganda. So I'm going to put this in. One of the first things that the Wandering Ensemble is going to perform at is on the Equinox in front of San Francisco City Hall. There's a sort of a new project starting up called the People versus Project 2025. I don't know what I think of the name, but that's really just spurring people to do art actions around the country frequently over the next couple of years, like big performances, not like demonstrations with people yelling and so forth, but flash mob dances and people singing in the streets and all kinds of stuff. And there's a big one to start it off in San Francisco on the 20th. So you can find out about that if you click on those couple things I put in the chat. So that's all, except I thought that was going to start in 2 weeks. It's going to start next week. I've been writing this piece, and so I've had to kind of rush and finish it because I just found out today I can't come back. Well, maybe I can. Maybe they'll give us weeks off. But I've been writing this piece for you, for Cobalt poets, and especially for Mr. Rick Rupert. And it's not a poem, it's a song. It might be a jingle. I might have written you a jingle. And I hope to God I can sing this. It's the poetry super duper highway coming to your super duper door. It's the poetry super duper cobalt flavored wondering favorite super duper flooper super roar. It's the poetry super duper carnival on a poetry super duper day. It's a poetry super duper, I don't know what else to call it, fantablastic pyroclastic splay. They come, the poets and their poems and their stanzas and their little feet and ampersands, their meets, their beats, their consonants and assonants. They read and rant and sometimes even rhyme or not. It's the poetry cobalt flavored highway coming to your super duper day. It's the poetry seismographic paraphrastic orgiastic super duper blooper scooper gooper trooper vooper hooper super looper whooper youper way. Hooray! That's what I have for you tonight. I'm sorry I won't be back for a while.
Um, your absence is not authorized by the people. Let me just say. I will also say, I think Jeffrey put it in the chat. We know where to find you, Richard. So,
Yeah, that's the
just
scary part. Yeah.
count on that. Wow, that was fantastic and fun. And we may make it the official anthem of the reading and play it at the beginning of every event going
I'll
forward.
record it for you. I'll need a band, a marching band probably or something.
Please, we might have to speed it up to double time just for the sake of we've already got so many things that happen at the beginning. But other than that, well, it sounds like you're off on an adventure. Not many people join the circus, despite threatening to. You know what I'm saying? So I wish you the best. If you'd like me to write a note to the ringmaster, for an occasional absence, please let me know. I'm willing to do that, and you will
Thanks.
always be a part of this series, regardless of whether you're actually here.
There's always a chance I may actually find it physically a bit much, but I don't think so. I mean, I used to be in dance groups and all kinds of performance groups, but it's been a number of years since I've done anything but sit in the goddamn chair and occasionally get up and say things in front of people. So, but I feel like I'm grounding and healthy. I always recommend people to do movement anyway, or just dance in your freaking living room if you need to levitate your heart. And so, um,
It's great advice. Uh, Richard, thank you so much for all that you've given us in the time that you've been here, and I hope to see you again soon. Best
you
wishes
too.
to you in your new adventure. Round of applause for our new theme song writer, Richard Loringer. Thank you, Richard. I'm going to close out the reading with a couple of things. As you may have heard, I've got a new book out. It's called High Moose Alert. Had a publication event for it on Saturday, which you can check out on my YouTube page, which is a place that I recommend that you check it out because I cut to Addie a few times for live wildlife sightings, and for whatever reason, as it went from Zoom to Facebook, it stuck on me instead of showing her. But on the video on YouTube, it didn't do that. I don't understand that, but that's probably the best part of the reading. So you should check that out. I'm gonna start with a poem from this new book. This one was written somewhere in Alaska. This is called Addie Saves Everybody Again. In a gift shop before breakfast, we see genuine Alaska axes. I ask Addie if I can bring an axe on the plane, and then imagine myself running up the aisle, wielding it, shouting, "I'm the pilot now." "No axe for you," Addie says. A lot of that is true. Actually, I think all of it's true now that I think about it. Addie's laying down the law and my declaration of what it's all true. Pick it up, poetrysuperhighway.com/moose. All right, here's my poem for this week's Torah portion. It responds to this line of text. This filter has turned the hat into a visor somehow. I don't know how this is working, but I'm just going with it. Here's a bit of text from the book of Deuteronomy. You must not intermarry with them. You must not give your daughter to a son of theirs, and you must not take a daughter of theirs, for your son, for your daughter's husband will turn away your grandchild from following me, and they will worship other people's deities. There you go. The poem is called Table for Zool. Okay, but there are some pretty cool other deities out there. Ganesh comes to mind immediately. Many arms, elephant head. You don't get much more "I want to hang out with that guy" than Ganesh. Thor's had a moment recently. Started out a little too serious, but really just a softie with a hammer. You for sure won't run out of wine if Dionysus is at your party. In fact, it's always a party when he's present. Ame no Uzumi no Mikoto may not be the most famous of the bunch, but in Japan she brings the mirth. Some of these are made up, you might say, and I say, yeah, I think you're getting it now. I'm all for perpetuating the family. I swear if my great-grandchildren aren't salivating over the challah, I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but I have room at my table for Ganesh or Apollo or even Zul. If our son's daughter could marry others' sons and daughters, perhaps all the fighting would stop. Bring home who you love, O son of mine. I'll sing Bruchot Habaot at the wedding, and at least the food will be interesting. Okay, there you go. A little something from me. Thank you very much. Okay, look, there's the stuff in the chat again. Thank you very much, Karen, for being our featured reader, for being willing to do this at the last minute. Stellar reading you gave us, and there's all the stuff people can do to check you out. They can give you a tip at either Venmo or PayPal. They can download your broadside at the Cobalt Poets website. When you're there, of course, you can click on the calendar and see who's reading in the coming weeks. Shocky G will be here next week. Click on email list if you're not already getting our emails, and add yourself to the list. You'll get an email Sunday morning and Tuesday afternoon. That's a Pacific Coast way to express that. It could be different where you are. Also, for Karen, there's a link to her book on Amazon and bookshop.org, two places where you can get it shipped to you automatically if you would like. And she's also offered to send signed books if you connect with her directly to get one. Thank you, VCP SoCal Poets. Thank you, James, for being here as well and giving us a great featured reading. I appreciate the partnership. I appreciate, as I've said many, many times, the sensibility about who is presented here in the featured spot, me getting to take a break from having to pick and letting someone else pick. So thank you so much for that, and for all the work that VCP SoCal Poets does here in Southern Cal to keep poetry alive in the many places that you do so. Thanks everyone else for participating in the reading and being here. Going to click on the Ask All to unmute, so feel free to say hi.
Rick, I forgot to do this one for the road. Sorry about that.
I didn't see what that was.
You didn't have to see, you had to hear it.
What was it? We didn't hear.
Oh, you've probably got original sound for musicians off, and that mutes external sounds that aren't your voice.
Oh, that was the moose call. I was playing it for you guys.
You'll have to sing the moose call. Richard, please sing the moose call.
I can't.
I gotta go.
I haven't been with a moose
Bye, Nancy.
so long.
Bye, Heidi. See you. Bye, Karen.
Bye, everybody. Good to see you.
everybody.
Thanks, Rick.
Bye.